tune in to the right station. I'm Dusty Vision. We welcome you to the show. Now, Lonzo, you made me think of something that I would love to touch on for a bit when you mentioned Jordans. I was once again a little too young to understand this, 87, 88, 89, but I would turn on the news and there were kids getting killed over Jordans. There were kids getting killed over starter jackets. What do you remember about those days?
Dude, it was frightening, dude. Because they were the hottest jackets and the hottest shoes. And a lot of times people wore them as a combination. You go out thinking you clean, come home butt ass naked with a black eye. It was like that, dude. Most of the time people wore that kind of stuff to concerts, and guys would just it was just like in the 70s with leather jackets, man. Man, that's a nice jacket. Hit it, thank you, man. Give it up. And you gotta start peeling, baby. You gotta start peeling. It was really the whole phenomenon of taking people's clothes was something that only I can think that we're the only ones that ever did that, man. That I can recall. Now bikers may take your jacket if you take your vest or your colors off of you if you're in the wrong set, or make you flip it around. Or if you're a fake biker, you wear the Hell's Angels vest and you ain't been vetted, they may take that. But I don't know nobody else walk around taking people's clothes, man. Who wants somebody else's clothes, man? I'll never forget I got jacked at school one time for a leather jacket. I'll never forget it, dude. My partner had he had a waistlines were the jackets they have when I was in the 9th grade. Waistline leather jacket was the jacket to have, dude. And my buddy
break down the waistline. Is it a shorter version? What's the waistline?
It stops at your belt loop, right around your belt loop. Sometimes it may go a little bit above, sometimes it go a little bit above, a little bit below. And most of them had belts that you kind of wore around, to wrap it around with. But nobody ever nobody ever did that. They just button up a button or two. And that was the jacket of the Crips back in the day. Most of the Crips, that was like the part of their uniform. Waistline leather jackets, Ace Deuce hats, Levi's, super iron Levi's, and Stacey Adams. They didn't wear tennis shoes. Gangsters didn't wear tennis shoes back then. And if somebody in the crew saw you with a jacket, you wasn't part of the team, you're finna get that jacket up, especially if it fit. And my partner went to Bret Hart over off of Hoover. I went to Vanguard, right down the street right up the hill from my house. I could see my house from the Vanguard field. I figured if somebody got it in my ass, I could be home before he figured out I was even there. Man, I'm after school talking to the security pie, and next thing I know, dude got me in a headlock. He choking the shit out of my ass. Okay. And I'm giving up. And it was buttoned up. So I would button up one button, fumble with another, button up another, button up the same button I unbuttoned before, and go back down. It's taking me like 10 minutes to unbutton this coat. Okay, I'm trying to talk and gag, and I'm trying not to pass out. And man, they my coat. You didn't give a damn about none of that right there. Just so happened, one of my partners, who was a shot caller, who lives across the street from me, saw me in dire need of some assistance. Okay, I'm like Warren G. I'm in dire need of some help. Okay, so homeboy, hey man, that's my homie. Let him go. Homeboy said, nah, he finna get his jacket. Like, no. And see, I was a civilian, and back then, you wasn't supposed to cross the line. Okay, if you really wasn't in the life, I'm gonna say in the gang life, it was rare that a gangster mess with a civilian unless the civilian did something to the gangster. Anyway, my homeboy, man, let him go. He ain't with this. Let him go. And he said, if you don't let him go, me and you finna go right now. And homeboy that had me in the headlock did not want to go against my partner. My partner was known for knocking cats out. He was a Golden Glove cat trained, and he was known for putting hands on dudes. And homeboy let me go. Now my partner said, "Man, get your ass up out of here right now." You know, then he chastised me. You know better than that. Get up out of here right now. I took that nigga back his coat the next day. I didn't want the coat no more. I didn't want it no more. Now, here's something crazy. My dad had a leather sports jacket. I went to school. Nobody ever messed with me. My dad had a leather sports coat. Okay, it was a little bit big for me, but I could make it work. Put on a turtleneck or something, I could make it work. And he let me wear that leather sports jacket. Well, he didn't know I had it really. I just kind of took it. And I wore it for men's. I think it was men's. I had men's league on Thursdays. We had to wear ties and a dress shirt and a sport coat. And I sported my old man's sport coat to school a couple times, and it never got sweated, not one time.
What do you remember? This is a little history for people out there. What do you remember about, let's see, 1972? You were born in 56? 57, so you'd have been about 15, 16. Yeah, you definitely would have heard about this, and I'm sure you know about it now. But what do you remember looking back about the incident in, I believe it was Hollywood near the Palladium, that put the Crips and Bloods on the map in a negative way, obviously, the killing over a gentleman for his leather jacket. What do you remember about that?
I remember vividly. It was on channel 5, 13, 7, 11, 2. That was the first time they had a Crip and Blood throwdown in a public place. It was over a jacket. Homeboy got stomped to death. That's what happened. He got stomped to death, and that was like the shot that went around the world, dude. That's right. And they were talking about Crips, and that was the first time the news had even talked about Crips. And they couldn't figure out what it stood for. They didn't know whether it was an acronym, or because a lot of Crips back then carried canes. Well, canes basically was a weapon. It wasn't even had nothing to do with them being crippled. It was a weapon. You know, you get bopped upside your head with a cane faster than anything else. And that's why they started letting us carry canes to school. There are some real nice canes back in the day with some nice handles, with some brass handles, put a nice knot upside your head. And that was the beginning of I think it was a Soul Train party or something like that. It had something to do with Soul Train. And that was the first incident I ever remember that was blew up on the news. Man, it was like a shooting there. It was like a major event, put it that way.
Yeah, Robert Ballou is the gentleman's name whose life was lost that night. And yeah, that was a huge story I heard. And from then it was just on and cracking. They were basically enemy number one.